All right, Titans fans, this one should be a doozy. I'm going back for this one. This is Colin Cowherd trying to explain that Mike Vrabel might not have gotten hired because of his size.
And this we're going to start the show today. That Mike Vrabel, who's about 6'4.5", big guy, good-looking big guy.
All right, Colin, you got a little crush, buddy? You got a little crush on Mike? I mean, what? Oh, he's about 6'4", weighs about 260. Got a huge crush on him. Good-looking guy. I'd kiss him if I could.
A physical football player. A tough guy. Football players are tough. That his size intimidated people. And that's why some people didn't want to hire him. If The Rock was 5'3.5", 140 pounds, he wouldn't be The Rock. He'd be the Pebble. Size matters. Taller men make more money. It's not an opinion. Look it up.
I just almost can't. Am I supposed to be taking this seriously? Am I honestly supposed to be taking this guy? The Rock. The Rock's a certain size. I mean, if you're taller, bigger, more muscly armed, you're more likely to be successful. What is this guy talking about?
And Mike Vrabel, if he was 5'6", would be somewhat intimidating. He's a tough guy. He's kind of intense looking, right? He's going to pitch you crap. He's got that sort of Boston personality. But I actually see it as an advantage. I'll give you an example. If you told me who are the toughest 4 football coaches in the NFL if they all got into a fight, I'd say Mike Tomlin, Dan Campbell, Vrabel, and Jim Harbaugh. And I do think there's...
Does this actually matter, though? Like, Bill Belichick's not strong, muscly arm, intimidating guy. Did it stop him from being successful? I mean, Andy Reid? Andy Reid? Who his whole thing is how much he loves cheeseburgers? What are we even talking about here? Why is this even a thing? I'll tell you why it's a thing. It's because they all thought that the Titans were idiots for firing the guy, and that of course he's gonna go land somewhere else. He's the best coach of all time. He's our favorite. Oh, he's not getting hired? It must be because he's so big and strong. I can't even believe I'm watching
size and physicality. It's easier to relate to some players. And those coaches' teams are all known as physical and tough. Vrabel's teams, Tomlin's teams, Harbaugh's teams, physicality. They have an alpha, it bleeds to the team. I think you can connect with certain players.
I will agree with that. Yes, the physicality, the tough nature. I will say, when Vrabel was with the Titans, yes, there was that factor. We were physical, we were tough, made you earn it, sure. Probably why we had so many guys on IR all the time, if you thought about that. But also, that doesn't always translate to winning. I mean, I'm all for physicality in football. It's a physical game. Doesn't always translate to winning, though, as we've clearly seen.
Relate to former players. And again, taller men make more money. Size does matter. But this is really about NFL teams. And I was joking with Mike on text last night. I said, I know you're too tall to get a job and too big, but are you too tall for us to text? I think this is NFL teams losing sight of Vrabel's greatest gift, and that's communication.
What? What? I'll take didn't know anything about the Titans for 500 to insinuate after the way things went down with him that communication is his greatest asset.
Nick Saban's 5'7.5". Intimidating, great communicator. Mike McDaniel.
Maybe if you're talking about communicating with the players about certain things, maybe, but just an unhinged thing.
5'9", great communicator. Sean McVay, 5'10", great communicator. Dan Campbell, 6'5.5", built like a house, great communicator. That's what this sport is. And big men sometimes are better communicators because players connect with them. Not all the time. Where you get in trouble with big men in and out of football is when they've used it as a crutch since high school. They're known as meatheads. That's not Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's really sharp, gets the game, great communicator. Was I surprised he didn't get one of the 8 jobs? No, because he's really smart. So is, in my opinion, Ben Johnson. And they both thought the best job and the only great job was Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah, that's what it was, Colin. That's what it was. First of all, Ben Johnson didn't end up anywhere because he turned everybody down. He didn't want to go anywhere. I don't believe that's what happened with Vrabel. Don't take this as me not liking Vrabel. I like Vrabel. And he should probably get a job somewhere someday. But it's hilarious to me that all of these analysts tried to say, oh, Titans are idiots. He's going to land wherever he wants. He's going to land wherever he wants. He's going to get whatever job he wants to. And then when he didn't, it suddenly turned into, oh, it must be because of how awesome he is. He's so great, and that's why he didn't get hired.
And both Ben Johnson and Vrabel are smart enough to realize if you don't have a really good quarterback, it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are. Go ask Bill Belichick. Next year, you could have 5 to 7 B-plus and above quarterbacks that need a coach. So I thought he was the best coach available that didn't get a job. I consider him right now in 2024 the best coach available because Bill Belichick is not as collaborative and clearly offensively not as.
I cannot believe I'm sitting here listening to this man try and tell me that Vrabel is a great collaborator. Am I in the Twilight Zone? Am I in another dimension?
Current. But if a GM is worried about being intimidated, then it's probably a team you don't want to work for. It really is.
8
but
teams?
Is intimidation relevant? Does size matter? Yes, I see it as an advantage. As long as you're not a meathead who's relied on that size since high school to get your way, and Vrabel hasn't. He was always one of the more thoughtful players. He was always a thoughtful coach. Got to an AFC championship with a B to a B-minus quarterback, multiple division titles, 6 years, 4 wins. It's not his problem. Will Levis couldn't get him to the promised land.
Sir, I will slap you in the face is what I'll do for that comment right there. I was all fine and good, and it was all fun and games, just a little disagreement. Until you hit me with that crap. Oh.
4 wins. It's not his problem. Will Levis couldn't get him to the promised land.
Oh, that little snarky remark, as if it's all Will's fault. It's all Will's fault that do this. Shouldn't do it. Shouldn't do it. I'm wearing a shirt representing my church. I shouldn't do this. Is it Will Levis's fault that we repeatedly tried to elevate practice squad players to every Sunday starters in the name of hard work and being a Vrabel guy? Is it Will Levis' fault that we repeatedly tried to field a team full of practice squad and low depth chart players just because Vrabel, like, they were more his style? Is it Will Levis's fault that this team, this organization, traded the best wide receiver they ever had? Is it Will Levis's fault that this team missed on 3 straight first-round picks? Isaiah Wilson, Caleb Farley, Treylon Burks. For all we know right now, that's 3 bad picks. 3 terrible drafts in a row, and that's Will Levis's fault? It's not his fault Will Levis couldn't get him to the promised land. Colin, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I was all fun and games right there. I was gonna just walk away from this not in a terrible mood until you hit me with that. I don't care how long ago this aired. I want answers for that insane remark that you just made.
Oh, right. So one of the things that is an epidemic in this country, and boy, do you see it on social media.
Oh, I don't even want to hear what you're. I'm assuming he's changing the topic, and he is, to the Clippers. You deserve to have to talk about the Clippers on the air, Colin. I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously when you just devoted 5 minutes of your program to trying to tell me that it matters if a guy is big and intimidating. It matters. You're sitting here talking about his height and weight as if it's a determining factor in how good of a coach he is. 8 teams turned the guy down, but it's just because of how awesome he was. I don't dislike Vrabel. I like the guy. I appreciate what he did for the Titans. But I am sick of the Titans being made the butt of the joke. Just because the guy everybody likes, they decided to let go and try to modernize their team, God forbid. Tighten up, everybody.